So let's bring in Walid Phares, Fox News national security and foreign affairs analyst. Walid, good morning to you. We await the president at the UN. What do you expect his message to be when it comes to Iran?
Well, the most important point that we heard about, and I hope we're going to hear details about, is the formation of a very large international coalition to contain and reverse Iranian activities in the region. And that is coming after those attacks against Saudi Arabia and in many other spots in the region as well.
You just heard an interview with the Energy Secretary Rick Perry a few moments ago here in our studio. I know something caught you that you heard there when I asked him what we're about to hear from the president.
Well, it's the same point that you raised with him immediately, and that was a unique moment where a member of cabinet would make that statement, which is, in addition to the international coalition that the U.S. will be building, there could be, and I quote, kinetic responses. But what was interesting about it, it may not be an American military response. So the question now, who in the region? I think Secretary Perry was very clear. He said Arabs are victimized by the Iranians. Israel is threatened by the Iranians. So think of this unthinkable proposition that an Arab coalition and Israel, maybe each one from different angles, will respond to Iran if they continue with their aggression.
All right, we are told now the president is en route to the United Nations headquarters here in New York City. He should be arriving a short time from now. We will hear him address the National Assembly in less than 1 hour. So we will watch for the president. Meanwhile, as tensions continue to rise with Iran, what you also just heard, speaking to a member of the president's cabinet, is about more on Iranian sanctions and about hurting them when it comes to money, the economy, banking. What more can we expect from this administration, and how much further can the United States go when it comes to sanctioning Iran?
Well, the sanctions are like an empty space that the Trump administration is using, is filling with every single sanction possible, peaking now with potential sanctions on the Central Bank of Iran. But what Eric has mentioned a few minutes ago while standing next to Iran opposition leader may be the deal maker. We need to have a partnership with the Iranian people, and that would be with the Iranian opposition. That's the missing link, which we may see happening in the next weeks or months.
Now that France and Great Britain have come on board with this coalition, confirming what the United States was quick to confirm, how do you expect the response to go? Especially as we wait to hear from the president this morning. How do you characterize the response that you have seen to those attacks so far, Walid?
Well, we have multiple circles. The red circle is the United States and its immediate allies in the region, Arab coalition, Israel, others. An orange circle are such as the European countries, very bothered by what Iran has done. They don't want to get out of the Iran deal, but there is a new red line for the Europeans. Do not do missiles attacks, because they can imagine that this could turn against their interest in the future. So this is what the Trump administration is trying to do, to work an alliance between two blocs and alliances, the Arab coalition on the one hand and the European Union on the other hand.
What about a meeting with Rouhani? Where do you stand on that?
Look, the president wants to play all the cards he wants, and he likes those meetings. He was successful with the North Korean leader, but in this case, it is not identical. It's not even comparable. The Iranians will have to accept some conditions before the president would meet their leader, and it's not happening at this point in time.
Not happening at this point in time. It certainly could. Do you think that the United States and the response from the president should be eventually to make it clear that he is willing to, as he has said in the past, meet with Iranian leadership?
As I said, these are all the options, and he likes to keep all the options, one of which would be if the Iranians say, OK, we accept those conditions, there could be a meeting. A meeting by itself doesn't mean much if there are no agreement on points. But the president has all the tools now. He has this deployment of American forces in the region. He has Europeans for the first time opposed to the missile attack and to the militias on the ground. And he has also something else, the growth of an internal opposition, which is going to look more like Venezuela than what we have seen from Iran before.
Well, he'd set us up for us what we are about to see at the United Nations here in New York City, with the president expected to address the National Assembly a short time from now. He should be arriving in moments. He's en route here in New York City. And what is at stake with his message on the world stage and having world leaders hear that message?
Well, the General Assembly basically has at least 190 members, and each member has an issue. Each group of members have a crisis. The priority for the United States and for its president, I imagine, is to address the hot issue, which is Iran's aggression in the region. But there are other matters, you know, ranging from economics to trade to all the forums that are now forming. I think he's going to try to drive the interests of the international coalition of the General Assembly into prioritizing with regard to Iran.